That's what I found strange about going into Decca, because I'd come from London Weekend and I was a producer there, and I'd gone through management and then decided I want to go all creative, so I started again, and I'm really enjoying it, working all hours God sent, because you're really into your program or whatever. And then I got approached by Decca for A&R. Now, I'd always been moonlighting anyway, with the okay of the controller at the time. And I used to go in when people used to come over and appear on the television programs that I was either producing or looking after the music for. You used to have to come in and they'd have to reproduce their records for the television. It was always a cheat. The Musicians Union used to come down and we'd swap the backing track, because there's no way. I always remember Band of Gold, for instance, Frida Payne, we had 20 minutes to re-record it. Well, come on. You just used to go, yeah, put the thing on, we'll get the drums, yeah, the orchestra's ready, and then you wait for an ME rep to go out, stick the backing track on, so at least the bass guitar and the drums were ready. Then you put the orchestra on top, and then she'd have a guide vocal and you boost that up. All that went on. And you got to know the artists, which were great. So they used to say, do you fancy coming in the studio? That really worked out well. So I used to moonlight and go and produce records. When I went to Decca, you have to understand that it was on the Albert Embankment. It was an old building full of people that were set in their ways. There hadn't been much success for the past 5 or 6 years, and it had sort of molded on. They tried to change things. They'd moved the promotion department to Great Marlborough Street, and that was quite modern because it was a new building. But where we were, it was terrible. And I'm thinking, if I brought my television colleagues into this place and said, come and sign for the they'd laugh at me, because, it looked dirty, it looked unkempt, and the people were great. So I immediately caused a great furore with Sir Edward Lewis and the people, then Bill Townsley, and said, if I come, I want to redo the offices. So, well, you don't need it, a bit of paint on. I said, no. Thick carpets, I want proper stereo in the thing. I said, it's no good a guy coming in to me playing a record and I've got to go outside and stick it on some silly little thingy. So that caused a lot of aggravation, because, who's this trumped up guy coming in here and he's got big flash carpet, he's got a secretary in there, and blah, blah, blah. But that was very, very important to create the atmosphere, because people would come in and say, oh, we're in a record company, and that hadn't happened before. And I remember being there for a few months, and they were surprised I hadn't rushed out and signed anything. Well, the main problem was we had so many people on the artist roster that shouldn't be there, that were either going in for their second album, third album, hadn't sold 13 copies or whatever. Good artists, but were not commercial. So I spent most of my time cancelling contracts. And then, the first day, this sums up the music business for you, right? I'm sitting in the office and the secretary, we're going through trying to update who's going to ring us and what the diary was going to be like. We get a phone call, and Jackie, my secretary, said, I don't know who it is, but he says he knows you. So I picked up the phone. I said, oh, hi, Mike Smith. Mike, how are you? Long time no talk to you. Saw you down in the studio. He rattled on for about a minute. And I said, whoa, I don't think we actually know one another. I'm the Mike Smith from LWT. I know there's 4 or 5 Mike Smiths. So he said, thank God for that. I couldn't stand that other bugger. And I'm thinking, and he was quite serious. It was like, because everybody had to get in touch with the A&R man and keep in with him because they wanted to flog him stuff. He thought I was somebody else. And when he realised, oh, God, I couldn't. I mean, that just summed up the music business for me. It was great.